Hey guys, we're going to do a quick little strategy over coyote hunting during the daylight, and we'll start off in the spring. I've got another video out there for the thermal, but this is going to be strictly daytime hunting. But starting off during the spring, what I'll be doing before the fawns get going, I'm still rolling with the 6.5 Bagara. Got the ATM. It's just the standard, it's the night vision scope, but it's got the daytime deal, and that's the setting I've got that thing on, again with the Omega 300 suppressor. And strictly what I'll be using is this coyote decoy right here, setting it out here on the fields, setting up. I will park and walk quite a ways, probably at least a couple hundred yards, set up before light in the mornings, and then if I'm going to hunt in the afternoons, I'll try to get out there plenty early, again get the decoys and everything set up, and it works out pretty good. This decoy, it does have a pretty lifelike tail, and there's some movement on there, so it tends to work out pretty good. I'll again be call wise rolling with any kind of a female imitation during that time period, followed up with some male howls and see if we can't get some going on. Then moving on into the summer months, around that May all the way through, or April, May, and June, what I'll typically be doing is rolling with, most of the time, a rifle and a shotgun. This is just a standard 870 full choke. I got the Tacticam there, rocking and rolling on that thing. That thing works out really good for those up close and personal, depending on how you're wanting to harvest those coyotes. But during that time period, a lot of the fawns are going to start dropping, that May time period. So what I'll end up doing is I'll have a fawn decoy typically right out the side of a wood line. I usually wait until we get a lot of our fields cut, then I'll establish that, and that works out really well to be able to draw those coyotes in, actually have them see a physical animal out there. And they like to harvest those coyotes, or sorry, those fawns a lot. So with the FX2 from Fox Pro, I'll be rolling with that fawn distress, and then I typically am setting up fairly close to that decoy, and definitely play the wind. So typically you're going to have that south wind, so keep that in mind. But I'll try to get that established where I think those coyotes are coming from. I use a lot of my cutty back systems, those trail cameras, to tell me where there's a lot of coyote activity during this time of year, and I isolate those specific ones to try to protect those fawns as well as the turkey poults, when they start getting up and going. But and then as we progress through the summer, I'll actually go ahead and take the rifle away if I want to start doing a lot more of the coyote hunts. Again, I'll be doing a lot of the stress calls, and I'll actually set this thing up very similar to what I would as a turkey hunt in the woods. I try to fade away from getting out there in the field hunts as much as I can. I try to get those up close and personal hunts during the summer, and I'll be setting the decoy up there, right there, typically on the side of the woods, again where a coyote could see it, and also be able to I'll set inside the wood line but be able to see that decoy, and then and as well as I can see the open bottom areas there. So as if a coyote's coming up that tree line, or if I'm able to see moving through the trees, I'm ready to go ahead and take the shot very quickly and get some good Tacticam footage, hopefully. And then on into the latter part of the year, heading into once we're getting to the deer season. I typically don't hunt a whole lot during that time period unless I've got a coyote that's running through, on one of my deer hunts, and I'm not afraid to fling an arrow, during that time period to harvest a few of them that way as well. But if I was going to go ahead and actually go after them, with a rifle, you could still use probably a fawn decoy, because the deer are probably fairly they're still smaller, so I think that would still work. But I would primarily just roll with having a coyote out there in the open field and just stick some howls, at the early morning, late evening, and see what comes in and go from there. And then, as I addressed earlier, once we get into the off season of deer hunting, once you get into your breeding time, I typically am rolling with a lot of thermal hunts at night. But you've got the gear. We went through all the seasons there. So just kind of keep that in mind as you guys hunt, is what those coyotes are doing. They always got to eat, right? But there's certain times of the year, such as the breeding season, that they're going to react to a breeding call such as a female invitation a lot better than they will the stress call. So appreciate you guys watching the video. Hopefully you guys are getting out there in nature, and best of luck on your upcoming hunt.